What does privacy mean when those things are flying around?
The personal drone is getting cheaper. It makes it easier to spy on your neighbors. But before we get to drones, let's start with the big story.
New revelations about the federal government's spying on our phone lines.
Edward Snowden's lawbreaking revealed that the NSA keeps a record of most every phone call Americans make. Learning that makes lots of people mad.
Get a specific warrant based on probable cause or stay out of our lives.
What you do on your cell phone is none of their damn business.
Senator Rand Paul has sued the government for collecting those phone logs without getting warrants for each person.
I think there is a Fourth Amendment protection to your records.
The Fourth Amendment forbids unreasonable searches and seizures.
When they passed that, they were thinking about the British soldiers coming into your home, going through your drawers.
Right.
This is just data mining.
Here's the problem, is they'll tell you they're protecting us, they have privacy controls in place, but I've got a news flash for you. Sometimes the government doesn't tell the truth.
I can't understand what Rand Paul is yelling about. With all his talk, with all his yelling that he does, there's not one example of political abuse.
He says political abuse because the NSA admits to abuse called love int.
An NSA employee monitored 9 phone numbers associated with female foreign nationals. The guy's checking up on his girlfriend.
I mean, that happens all the time. You got people in the phone companies doing that. You have police officers, FBI agents. Anytime there's access to something like this, there's the potential for abuse. And these cases, these guys were caught. The NSA disclosed it.
So how much haven't they disclosed?
You can say that about every law enforcement agency in the country.
Government tells us that NSA spying saves lives. The NSA says it prevented a plot to bomb New York City's subways and prevented a Somali immigrant from sending money to terrorists in Somalia.
54 potential terrorist attacks were foiled.
They said these were terrorist things we prevented. On cross-examination before the committee, every one of them was eviscerated. They get down to one Somalian guy, taxi driver, who sent some money back to Somalia. I think he would have been caught through other means.
Would the NSA lie?
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly.
Yet the NSA does, and quite wittingly.
He lied.
No, he didn't. This was a classified secret program that we did not want the enemy to know about. General Clapper, if he had time to prepare, I'm sure he could have given a better answer. But when you're confronted...
What would have been a better answer?
I don't know. We have to work on it. The fact is, the NSA does not listen to the phone calls. The NSA, what they do is they drill down on the numbers.
To protect us.
I'm all for looking at that person's records if you get a warrant. There's no reason not to get a warrant.
But it delays the investigation.
There's a rapist tonight in D.C. You want to catch him, I want to catch him. What do the Washington, D.C. police do? They call a judge from in front of his house, and a judge has to be available 24 hours a day. Do you think the judge almost ever says no?
If the judge always says yes, how does a warrant protect us?
Let's say you call up and you say, I want all the records of all the Republicans who live in Texas. My guess is then the judge will say no. So it's a great protection. I'm not willing to give up on it because I fear the time when maybe someone in government becomes not so well-intentioned. I don't think President Obama's a bad man. I think his motives are good. But I worry about who's the next president or the president after that.
Senator Paul argues that we'd catch more terrorists without tracking every phone call.
We take our eye off the prize by spending so much time mining information from innocent individuals, and we spend less time then targeting our activities. We had 2 boys, the Boston bombers.
Russia warned America about them, and the FBI interviewed them. But then they didn't keep an eye on them.
One boy went back to Chechnya, was radicalized there. We didn't even know he was on a plane.
The 2 brothers then set off that bomb at the Boston Marathon.
They're so busy tapping our phones, they don't pay attention to what they ought to pay attention to.
The fact is, it doesn't take any effort to collect it. It's there. But if we see a terrorist phone number from overseas coming into the U.S., then we can track that down.
Do you ever worry about the police going too far in these cases, that America becoming like a police state?
Oh, sure. And that's...
We're not even close to that?
Not even close.
We are close, says technology writer Kurt Knudsen.
We have these little cameras, John, on our phones, on our tablets, on our iPads.
On my computer, a light goes on and at least tells me that the camera's on.
Not when a hacker has control of it, or in one case, the FBI.
The police can turn this on remotely without the light going on and spy on us.
Well, first of all, I don't know if the police can do that or not. The NSA is not doing it, that's for sure.
But they can, and
But they're not, though. There's no instance that they're having.
as far as we know, and more of this stuff
Yeah, but see, that feeds into paranoia as far as we know. I mean, for all I know, you could be spying on me. You could have left all sorts of bugs around my office here. How do I know that you didn't do it?
The FBI did admit to secretly spying through a laptop. And
When you're on your cell phone, they know where you are. They can turn on the microphone at any given moment. Even though you've turned your phone off, they can still operate the microphone to listen to what's going on around your phone.
That's scary. And perhaps equally scary is that now your neighbor can buy one of these, a personal drone.